little bit sassy, a little bit crazy, a little bit classy. We got dreams and we got goals. We're just a couple of old sassholes.
Ooh.
Hello.
Hi. Jello, everyone. Welcome to a couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Maple.
And I am Heather Terry.
And this is our power hour of true crime with fucked up people doing fucked up shit, sometimes for reasons, sometimes for no reasons.
A lot of times for no reasons.
A lot, yeah.
Or dumb reasons.
Or psychological issues.
And there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to tell you guys what I'm looking at. A beautiful bridal princess. We just left Brooklyn's hair and makeup trial. This bitch is done up. And I woke up this morning as the wonderful matron of honor that I am and was like, okay, well, I have to put in fucking effort because this bitch is going to be all glammed up at 10 a.m.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was at 7:30 this morning. So it's like, number one, kind of sleepy bear. Number two, we're literally running to like Sam's Club and doing bullshit. And I have like a very intricate fucking jewels on the back of my fucking head.
I mean,
in some fucking hey dudes and some leggings and a t-shirt that says, bless your heart.
bless your heart. Which
And I
is
have full
Southern.
fucking makeup.
Bless your heart is Southern for fuck you.
Yep, pretty much. I have a fuck you shirt on and I'm just ready to
Fuck you politely.
walk down the aisle and say, I do.
I do.
It's been very, like, I don't know what it is. It's like ever since the 6-week mark has hit and I'm like, I am just fucking emotional.
Yeah.
The wedding feels like it's literally happening. Like every moment feels like
It is happening.
the wedding is like the thing that's happening right now. I hate to be that bride, but it's what's happening right now in my life. Like, what is happening in your life, Brooklyn? I'm getting married in fucking 6 weeks, and that's all that's fucking happening in my life. Everything else just doesn't really matter all that much.
Yes.
I'm over here about to walk down that aisle. I'm very excited.
That is right.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
I'm very happy to have Heather in my life. She's been just kind of the most important piece. Besides Travis, it's Heather. For sure.
I'm like Travis, too.
Travis first, and then Heather.
Very
But the one
close
who's
second.
the most into the wedding is Heather.
Yeah.
But-
I won't argue with you on that.
I'm very grateful.
Oh.
She's quite my sweet baby angel.
Thanks. I do what I can.
Well, you do a lot, and it's appreciated.
It's
appreciated.
Yeah.
It's appreciated.
We got there.
Woo!
We took a lap around the block or two, but we got there.
And that's what matters.
Yeah.
The important thing is that we got there. Speaking of getting there, my bachelorette party's next weekend.
Oh my gosh. It's going to be okay.
So I've only been to one, and I was 18, and it was me in charge of it. And I remember it was a lot of effort. I don't know. I'm one of those people that there's probably a reason why I just don't really pay too much attention to my past. So, like, I don't have a lot of like epic memories of things. My best memories are probably of the last 5 years of my life, to be honest.
I met you 5 years ago. Huh. It's funny how that worked out.
Yep. But no, like I don't know. I don't know what to expect. And Heather's the one in charge of it. And Heather's literally could open up her own company for event planning. So I'm very excited.
No pressure.
Yes.
No pressure.
Well, only the pressure that Heather puts on herself as it relates to this
exactly
anyway.
right.
Yeah.
You have no expectations. I think we could just come to your house and just sit out back and you'd be happy. But that is not what we're going to do by any means. There's going to be twists and turns, and we are going to talk about it in 2 weeks because it's talk-aboutable.
Oh, I can't wait.
So, yeah. And keeping this from you, the theme even has been driving me insane. We tell each
thought
other.
the theme was like, batch that ass up. Is that not a theme?
Mm-hmm. We're just going to go with that.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. We'll go with that. Anywhooser, I've been keeping this from her for months, and it is driving me nuts. And luckily, one of the girls we work with, MCAT, is going, and I've been able to talk to her about it because we tell each other every time we fucking sneeze. So not telling you something in my life drives me nuts.
Oh, I agree.
So
me planning your gift and shit. Like for yours, like
Yeah.
being like, ooh, what am I going to do? Hold out, don't tell her.
Oh, yeah, because we got
permanent jewelry.
We got anklets.
We did, guys.
Even though mine's no, I'm kidding. I'm actually getting used to it now.
Heather's like, I should have gotten it looser. It's been driving me crazy. I'm over here like, I have an anklet. I'm so cute.
She asked me 2 hours after we got it and said, what did you text me and say? Like, how do you feel?
How do you feel about it?
It's like,
I love mine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we need to take a photo.
We will.
Links by Stephanie in Owensboro did ours. It took 3.8 seconds. She's
super
awesome.
fun.
And it was great. So, and we got to have champagne.
Not that
Not
they
that she
did not
provided
provide.
it.
I went and brought champagne because we shouldn't do anything in this life without fucking bubbly.
I was never like that until I met you, FYI. So you created.
I've always been the skank with champagne. Like there's never been a moment in my life where champagne was not in my fridge. Almost always. I used to travel around with champagne in my trunk.
What?
Yeah, when I was hanging out with Austin Casebolt all the time and stuff.
I get that.
Yeah, when I was 27, I literally had a case of champagne in my trunk. For life.
That makes
that
sense.
is insane. That sounds crazy.
I think it sounds fun. So there's that.
Good.
Yeah. But you know what's not fun?
What?
My fucking story today.
Oh,
and I need trigger warning on everything. I didn't even cover all of it. And it's terrible what I'm going to say today.
So speaking of stories, because of the way that life is currently going,
yes.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm getting married.
Yeah. The royal wedding is in June.
Yes. So because of that, we're doing singles. So not only is it like the months leading up to the wedding is obviously a lot. And then also just my honeymoon, I'm gone for so long. We've been pre-recording. So we've really been busting our ass to make sure that my wedding didn't make us disappear.
We got to give the people what they want.
Well, the last thing we want is to do replays all the time and you guys lose your interest. We want you to constantly, on Thursdays at 7 a.m.
We got to keep it spicy.
Check out a couple of sassals. So we're going to be doing a lot of solo episodes. So get ready for that.
That's
and today is one of them. And I'm really excited.
Are you?
Yeah.
Have you heard of this story? Because I tripped and fell into it like I do a lot of my ones. Because I try to stay away from the normal ones and stuff. But this one, I tripped and fell down a rabbit hole and couldn't crawl my way out. So I had to do it.
I don't know what the story is, so I cannot tell you if I've heard of it before.
It's called the Ant Hill Kids cult. And you know I'm a slut for a cult. They interest me.
How have I not heard of this? Because I think that if there's one thing besides serial killers, I'd say my knowledge is in cults. Mm-hmm. So how the fuck do I not know about a cult?
That's exactly what I said. Because I, too.
We are sluts for cults.
Yeah, we definitely are. We would have been in one if we were friends 10 years ago. Not this one. Cult. I don't want to fucking be in this one. Fuck no.
I don't want to be in any now, but I definitely, we would have been culters. We would have met.
We would have been in NXIVM.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if NXIVM happened again, I'm getting fucking... I'm going to get a cattle prod in my side of somebody's initials. I would still probably end up in NXIVM. I can't even lie. It even sounds cool until they made the fucking allergy.
They used to have face cream that was called that. I used to use it in college. Called NXIVM. Maybe I was already in the cult and I just didn't know.
I can't wait. The Ant Hill Kids.
The Ant Hill
Stupid
Kids.
Name. Stupid fucking
Yes. Name. Okay. So my sources, Wikipedia. There's a YouTube show called Stupid Beyond Belief, and that's episode 3 of the Cult Next Door. Cults on Spotify. They have an episode that used to be streaming, but now it's just audio. So I listened to that, and then episode 189 of a podcast called Red Handed. Now I read and listened to a lot of other things between now and then because I did my research a week and a half ago. I did my homework early, shockingly, and so some of the things I've picked up along the way too. So sprinkle that in. Just keep that in mind.
Sprinkle.
Now, there's not a ton on this case, and I'd never heard of it before either because, it's about to get real dicey. But I think that it happened in French Canada, and that there was a press.
So much to be happening up in Canada.
I know.
I've done my last 2 stories were on Canadians, and my next story is a Canadian. And I'm not even trying to, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not even searching for Canada. Canada.
Right? I know. We have some Canadian listeners, so hats off to you.
Hats off to your shitty police department, because that is personally...
ours sucks too sometimes.
No, 100%. But all of my stories have been 100% they had the killer and let them go over and over again. So you have great health care, shitty police department. Or at least you did in the 80s and 90s, as we all did.
That's right. This is the worst cult in Canadian history. And then, like I said, it was in French-speaking Canada. So that might be why there's not a lot on it. And there was also, I read somewhere that there was kind of a press embargo. So they had to wait so many years to even report on it. And then you had to translate it all from French. So some people just didn't mess with it. But after it got translated, it's fucking crazy.
How lazy are we? We're like, there's the most tantalizing, juicy story, but nobody wants to translate it.
I know, right?
What the fuck, man? I know. You make me want to kick a pebble down a side street.
So this guy's name is Roch Thériault. Now it's pronounced Roche. I've heard Roche, but I'm going to say Roch because I like that one the best. And that's the most common one that I heard.
I am really into the name.
Yeah, Roch Thériault. And I spelled it wrong on purpose because it's spelled all French.
Oh, I know your notes are very fun.
Yeah, because I have to do it how I say it. He was born May 16th in 1947 in Thetford Mines, Quebec, up in Canada. Now, some people, I just said that. Fun fact, this town was known for asbestos mining, which I didn't even know was a thing. I thought
Isn't that just what is in our walls?
Or used to be, but I didn't know it was mined. I don't think I ever thought about it.
Why the fuck would we mine asbestos to
they
kill
did
ourselves?
back in the day because it was fire resistant and thermal or whatever. So that's why it was all up in everybody's shit, in walls. Oh man! But yeah, you're right. It does cause cancer, etc.
Right.
And they were the world's largest producer of that in that town. Now, Roch was super intelligent and he knew it. But either way, he dropped out of school in the 8th grade. And did manual labor for cash. Now, some people think, and all his siblings did too. So some people think that either home life, some people thought he wasn't challenged enough, but he was very egotistical from a young age. So that also could have had something to do with it, where he just thought he was too good for school. Now,
okay. Heard.
Yeah. His home life, I don't think was the best, but he also lied a lot. But there's a couple stories that back this up. His family was super Catholic and super strict. They belonged to something called the White Berets, which apparently is a leg of Catholicism in Canada, where they actually wear white berets and they hand out religious pamphlets trying to recruit people, which is very JW, very Jehovah's Witness.
My eyebrows having a twitch moment, and I'm trying to look at you, and I'm like, I don't want her to see my eyebrow, but my eyebrow's spasming, and so I keep looking away. So I'm very into the story, even though I look like I'm being very studious.
Now,
no eye contact, please.
Yes, please. So just think Catholic JWs going door to door, and they literally would get on their knees when somebody would come to the door and beg for money. The kids would get on their knees and beg for money when they open the door.
Wow.
It's very intense.
But they could afford the white beret.
Right. I don't know if that was provided by Jesus or what. Berets for Jesus. I don't know. So, but they also think that the Catholic Church is too liberal from what I read. And most people don't say that about the Catholic Church. So it was very odd to me that they're so strict, if you will, that they think the Catholics are too liberal. I'd hate to see what they think about some of the other religions. Now, one thing I read said that their dad would play a game called Bone with Roch and his two brothers. So basically they would wear steel-toed boots and sit at the kitchen table and kick each other's shins until one of them couldn't take it anymore.
That sounds so fucking painful.
Also, fun fact though, the British girls on that podcast Red Handed, they said there's a competition in the UK where shin kicking is the competition.
That is so terrible.
And they wear spiked steel-toed boots.
People are insane.
What?
Why? I don't understand.
I don't either.
I don't want to be a part of that.
Needless to say, Roch was a violent dude, but I can't imagine why.
If my name's Roch, I would hope.
Well, or Roch. We don't know.
Roche.
Now, he was also a big hit with the women and a big fan of their work. And by that, I mean, he had a huge wiener and was very proud of it.
Okay.
Because I'm going to show you a photo.
Of his wiener?
No. That was definitely not a good segue. I do not have a dick pic of the Canadian cult leader's dick on my phone. But I do have a picture of...
You just...
I know, that wasn't a very good segue. Your face, you go... I was just going to show you a dick.
Cock.
Yeah. I'm look at this dick. No.
Dude, it wouldn't shock me.
But this is him grown, okay? I want you to describe to the listeners what he looks like.
Okay, what part of that okay, so many questions. Give me that. I wear glasses. I cannot see.
There.
Okay, so what part of him makes me think that he has a big dick. So you go, he has a big dick. Let me show you a photo.
No, I wanted to show you what was attached to the big dick.
How do you know he has a big dick?
It said in multiple things that I read and heard. Like, he was very proud of that.
I mean, everyone should be proud of big dicks.
Yeah, like very, very proud.
He looks like, I love that I just found this photo.
Yeah.
He very much looks like, my hair looks great in it. Oh my God. Like, I don't want to say like a hairy caveman. He's bald. He has a huge beard.
He looks like he would be a laborer. Like, he's some girl's vibe, but...
Oh, I don't know.
Not every girl.
Okay, I'm aware.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not mine either, especially because I heard the whole story. So
I don't know. I just would not be intrigued by any part of that.
No.
Like, he has one of those really nasty, long brown beards. He looks like he would just be really hairy.
He looks like he smells like sandwiches.
He looks like he probably wouldn't kiss very well.
Oh, no.
He looks like maybe he smells like salmon.
Ew.
I don't.
What?
I don't know. Maybe he'd be really sweaty.
Oh, my God. Anyway, Google him.
La Roche Posay.
Roch Thériault.
Okay.
He was very charismatic, though, like to everyone into it. Like, he picked up women all the time like it was a game.
I don't know how.
And I don't either. When he was 21 in 1967, he married one of these women. It was 17-year-old Francine Grenier, and she popped out 2 kids.
I know that name somehow. I have no idea why.
Oh, I don't know either.
I couldn't tell you.
Huh. Well, Roch was so full of himself that, of course, he couldn't hold a job, and he didn't want anybody being his own boss. Or he didn't want anyone being his boss. He wanted to.
No one wants that.
Yeah, no, but he really didn't like it. He started selling wood carvings for cash, and he did that for a few years. So think like wooden beer mugs. So they traveled around and lived in a tent sometimes and sold wooden beer mugs.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That'll be me and Travis in 2 years.
I would not be shocked if you came back from your honeymoon and you're like, guess what? I'm like, God.
This is what we're doing, guys.
So he developed stomach ulcers, and he had to have a shit ton of operations, which caused him to get something called dumping syndrome. And apparently this is super painful. And every time you eat, you get diarrhea, nausea, bloating, bad cramps, all of that stuff.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound fun, even if you just eat the smallest amount. And to ease his pain, he started drinking heavily and became a raging alcoholic.
Okay.
He ended up having an affair with a woman named Giselle. So Francine divorced his ass in 1976.
Giselle is totally the bitch you'd have an affair with. You wouldn't marry her and take her home to your parents, but you're definitely fucking her behind your wife's back.
He was super Catholic before, like I said, and he ended up leaving the White Berets, and he got into the Seventh-day Adventists, which is weird because he doesn't like rules and they have a ton of rules. So here are a couple of them. They observe the Sabbath on Saturdays, so no working, no sports, no events, no fun, pretty much. They recommend being vegetarian. There's no alcohol, no tobacco, and no mind-altering anything. No unclean foods, as they're listed in the Bible. And they're super into the second coming of Christ. So needless to say, he didn't last long in there because he's a friggin' booze hound. And they kicked him out in 1977.
I feel like there were other ways that he could have tried to cope with the diarrhea, but okay.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to shit my pants. Let me chug this Jack Daniels. I don't like...
I don't know.
I'm sure
get
it's
into
painful,
God.
but like...
Oh, I'm sure. I think that's like what my mom has.
Really?
Like, yeah. Like food can't be in her system, and so it makes her really sick, and that's why every time she eats it, it's like a terrible experience.
And he did, however, start wearing a monk's habit. So there's that. Like his
Googling.
behavior started getting really whacked out in the late 70s. Like he started telling people about visions of the world ending. He said he could talk to animals. He was a healer and he could heal the sick. He also said that he went into the woods and then had a conversation with a mama bear, and she took him in, and then now he can talk to animals. That's why.
Okay, number one, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
A monk's habit is a traditional full-length robe with long sleeves and has been the formal garment of monks, friars, and nuns in the Middle Ages. Just really wanted to set that scene, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Bald head, long flowing brown beard.
And friar fucking tuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he bragged excessively about being able to castrate cattle and pigs without any blood. So we're going culty real quick. He was super into reading medical textbooks because he had a couple surgeries and he didn't think they went well. So he obviously thought he was smarter than the doctor. So he would read them cover to cover. And then basically was like, I'm in the medical field. He moved about 27 miles away from his hometown and opened up a homeopathic clinic. So like they gave crunchy smoking cessation seminars and stuff like that. He was like, no, I'm going to help people stop smoking. Yeah, he linked up with some other like-minded medicine people, and one of these was his old side piece, Giselle. Mm-hmm. They hooked back up, and then they ended up getting married. Now, he started gaining followers within a few months. These people, they quit their jobs, they left college, they gave him everything worldly, and they moved into his house, like him and Giselle's house. Mm-hmm. So they were like 18 to 24-ish years old. A couple of them had kids. I think it was like 9 women, 4 men, and like 3 or 4 kids moved into their house. So he was like, well, the world's going to end. So why are you going to college? You don't need this. And he convinced them of that. So,
I'm so sure of that.
So in 1978, that's when all those people moved in there.
1978.
Yeah. Then Roch decided that they needed to move into the wilderness and live on a commune. So that's what they did.
Dude, if you'd ever get down with that, I'm trying to do that.
Sainte Marie, Quebec. This was so he could host his teachings freely and live in unity, equality, and be free of sin. Because, the world's going to end. So let's just kumbaya outside. He believed that he acted as God's agent here on earth and renamed each cult member with a biblical name.
Okay.
We're already going down that road. He said that the world was going to end in 1979 by a shower of hail boulders. And you know how they could be saved, right? They have to do everything that he says.
It's like they have to fuck him. I feel like that's usually
he said by moving out to the commune, they could reconnect with nature, but the road to salvation would be paved with suffering because that was the will of God. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now,
it's literally the most aggressive spasm of my life is happening in my eyebrow right now. And I keep touching my finger so that you won't see it spasm, and that'll creep you out.
I can't see it.
But maybe me doing this is distracting too.
Now, the commune life actually wasn't too bad for them at first, but it didn't take long for it to start sucking. They all lived kumbaya. They sold crafts and desserts to make cash, and then they lived off the land. He gave them the nickname, the Anthill Kids, because they all literally worked their ass off all the time together in unison. And it didn't take Roch long to get all 9 women to be his wives.
Oh.
And he kept them pregnant constantly.
What?
Yeah. They literally were almost all pregnant all the time. And they all, he was so charming and had them under his spell that they all were obsessed with him. And one couple was married. So when they came. So, yeah. Now.
What the fuck, man? I just can't fathom the scenario in any of that where you come into a situation married and you're completely content with them then being obsessed with another man. I'm not comprehending this.
And you followed the man also. So there's that.
Right. Yeah. It feels very, what was that, Waco?
Yeah.
Very Waco.
It's very, oof. Now, these people in total lived together for 11 years. And I wanted to point that out. And I'm not going to tell you everything year by year, but I'm going to hit the highlights that stuck out to me, but there's a ton more shit than what I'm even
11 years, yeah.
Than I'm even going to go
over. That's a lot of time.
Yeah. He kept them underfed and sleep deprived, so classic cold behavior, and they're easier to brainwash by then. This motherfucker, so he left his monk's habit behind, and he started wearing red velour robes and a fucking crown, and called himself the king of the Israelites.
What the fuck?
Oh, just wait.
What if I just did that? What if I just came into work one day donning a fucking robe and just was like, I am literally the Queen of Sheba?
I would take you to a padded room and be like, I need you to talk to her. Something's wrong.
What if I slowly did that? I don't know how to slowly do it, but I'm going to start figuring it out. I'm going to make Heather join a cult. My cult.
Here she goes.
I'm the charismatic leader.
He cut them off from the outside world and their family and friends. He would force kids to beat the shit out of their moms in front of everyone.
What?
If anyone wanted to leave, which a couple of them tried, he would beat them with belts, hammers, hang them from the ceiling, and pull out their body hairs one by one. He even shit on them. shit, literally shit on them if they tried to leave. Look at the look that she just gave me. This is an audio project.
I just could not.
Like, you're trying to leave and some guy takes a dump on your chest.
What do they do? Like, hold me down and he shits on my back? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Strings me up and pulls out my leg hair?
Yes.
I'd be like, cool, dude. I'm happy that it won't grow back as fast. Like, I don't.
They had orgies all the time. He would bring women into the bedroom and have competitions to see who could get off the most. So, like, you win if you have the most orgasms. Yeah.
I want to leave.
Oh, you're going to want to leave this whole time.
I would like to leave.
I've got like 5 more pages of stuff.
May I please leave?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to.
Roch would go visit Alex Joseph in Utah all the time, and Alex was the leader of a polygamous commune, and he said that that's where he drew a lot of the inspiration for his practices and beliefs. And on the Red Handed podcast, she was like, how, God knows, like, how he was paying for international airfare on Dreamcatcher money. And I'm like, yeah, but they all came in and gave them all their money at the beginning. So there's that. 1981, shit got way worse because a mentally unstable man named Guy Veer joined the cult. And I read somewhere that he actually escaped from an asylum and then just kind of ended up there, but I don't know how true that is. And they were up to about...
Some mother of God going on in here.
Uh-huh. They were up to about 40 members now. Now, Guy beat little Samuel, who was only 2 years old, almost to death one day, like one of the kids in the commune, because he was crying. His mom was like, Samuel's not urinating and he wouldn't pass urine at all and something was wrong. And then Roch's like, hey, like, I'm a doctor. So, like, I'll operate on him.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Roch circumcised Samuel with no anesthesia.
Poor little thing.
And a few days later, he passed away.
Aww.
I know. But Roch, it's not his fault. You know, it's not his fault. He blamed Guy. Because he was like, we're going to have kangaroo court. We're going to have court here. That's where he holds his own court for the cult. That's what they call it. And he
kangaroo
cult. I didn't Google why. I
thought kangaroo court.
Kangaroo court.
Okay.
Yes.
You just said cult.
Court.
I was just letting you know that you said cult, which then I was like, so it's kangaroo cult. And it's
court.
Still stupid. Either way, still fucking stupid.
I would love to be in a kangaroo cult. That would be fun. But okay, so he had court, and he ruled that he wasn't guilty by reason of insanity, but he still gave him a punishment. You know what his punishment was?
Finger in the butt.
No, he probably wished. He castrated Guy. He castrated him.
Castrated means
chopped his balls off. He cut this man's balls off. But even though he was not guilty by reason of insanity, he was like, well, I'm still going to take your balls.
So this guy
wanders into a cult, beats the shit out of a kid.
Then the kid
dies, but the kid was very injured from the beating because he's a grown ass man. And then Roch's like, the kid's sick, so I'm going to do surgery. And then he circumcises the child. The child
kills
dies.
Yes.
And then he castrates the man for doing it, even though he said he's not guilty because he's insane. I'm telling you.
I don't understand anything that's happening right now.
You won't.
And I'm very fresh and I have really pretty makeup on and I have BCAs in.
Yeah,
my stream and I'm still not understanding.
Yeah. But the cops ended up hearing somehow about Samuel's death. But the followers, when they came to ask about it, they were like, oh no, he was trampled by a horse. Even Samuel's mom said that.
There was horses?
They had some animals there. They were like, oh, he got trampled by a horse.
I could see them just being like, yeah, he was trampled by a horse. And there's not a horse nearby. Not a single fucking horse. Not one horse. A random horse. A stampede of horses.
He just ran by. I don't know. It went that way.
Right.
Yeah. And then the cops were like, yeah, shut the fuck up. And they raided the commune and arrested 7 of the members. They were all convicted of crimes related to Samuel's death and the castration of Guy's balls. Roch pled guilty. Guess how much he served?
For what did he plead guilty to? Sorry, was it castrating of the guy or having a surgery? Like, I'm trying to understand.
Samuel's death, crimes related to Samuel's death, as well as the castration.
So technically, like, it was it probably wasn't murder. It was like manslaughter due to lying about medical degree or something like that.
Sure.
I'm just trying to understand like how long he should have gotten.
Way longer than what he got 18 months.
Okay.
18 months.
And what did homeboy with no balls say?
Criminal negligence.
How did he let his balls get cut off? How are your balls getting cut off, sir? How is that happening?
I don't know. I don't know how any of this is happening. In June of 1983, he was released from prison and he moved the commune to Burnt River, Ontario to get them even further out into the wild. They were still on the radar of authorities and the child welfare people started paying more attention, or so they said. In January of 1985, another child passed away from what the coroner ruled as SIDS, so sudden infant death syndrome, but I don't believe that for one bit. In December of 1985, 6 cops and 10 social workers showed up, and they took there was 14 children at the time, and they took all of them and put them into foster care. Some of the kids told their new foster parents that Roch would sexually abuse them, and it was like terrible shit that he would make them do. Yeah. Between 1986 and 1988, his 9 wives had 9 more children, but Child Services took each one of them when they were days old. I mean, thank goodness. It still sucks, but at least they didn't.
It's amazing that you can just keep procreating in this way. And you're basically now just a farm to overpopulate the system that is already overpopulated, and they're just allowing it, and they're not arresting anyone. They're like, no, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Keep being a trash dumpster fire human. Mm-hmm. It's fine.
Yeah. I'd be like, can we at least snip him? Like, bare minimum, can we forcibly snip him?
I mean...
But yeah.
At what point, I mean, just like take 2 seconds and imagine a society where they can choose people that cannot procreate. Imagine.
I would love to be on that board.
Yeah, but imagine being the person someone saying you can't have a kid.
Yeah.
And it's like, why?
Yeah.
It would be, is it because I'm raping the kids?
Right.
Okay, well then probably. Yeah. Talk about castrating.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I mean, they're already telling us that we're not allowed to have abortions after rape, so we already don't have the right of our bodies.
Right. Well, he's a man, so he wouldn't fall under that.
Of course.
Yeah. He's a white man, so.
Even if they were making him take a pill, because now there is male birth control.
Yeah. Shove it down his fucking nasty face. Okay. With no kids there now, shit got way worse. Because besides their little orgasm contests, he would have what he called gladiator matches. So he would put 2 members of the cult in a square and then make them fight naked. He even had a point system for this. So like if you went out of the square or you did something, like you would get a point deducted, and they would do this for hours. One dude in the cult named Claude was married, and he and his wife became anthill kids, like I said. Roch took a liking to his wife early on, and he was like, oh, Claude, it's God's will for you to be celibate. Yeah. Because he's like, he wanted to fuck his wife. So he's like, God wants you to not have sex anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think he was intimidated by him or something, because later he put rubber bands around Claude's ball sack. It swelled bigger than oranges, and one of his nuts got infected. So what do you think that he decided to do? Dr. Roch came back. His drunk ass decides to operate. He cuts his ball sack. Oh, God. He pulled one ball out.
Shut the fuck up.
And then cauterized his ball sack with a piece of hot iron. He does all of this without anesthetic, by the way. He actually survived. Claude did. But could you? I don't even have nuts.
Why did he let him?
They're all so...
Nuts are so
They're
weird.
either scared. Yeah, but could you imagine? Like, we don't have balls, but it sounds painful as fuck.
Oh my God, it sounds utterly terrible.
Yeah.
But I want to see what the inside of that ball sack looks like.
Oh my God.
I'm very intrigued by the surgery.
Rocky Mountain oysters. And I wish that y'all could see the little squishy hand motion. She just
balls are so weird. I'm just like, and then you just pop one of those out and then but anyway.
Not so, burn.
I know. Still terrible.
Yeah. So... Thankfully, he survived. On September 28th, 1988, Roch had been an asshole like all day, just fucking with him because he was drunk, being an ass. And then that afternoon, he calmed down a little bit. And he's like, "Hey, does anyone need any like medical assistance or?"
Because I'm drunk. I just want pause. I have to say pause.
Yes.
Because I never want to victim blame. Victim blaming is so not an okay thing.
Uh-huh.
But what the fuck?
They're either scared of him because they've seen what happens to people
why did
when
they
they
get
leave.
There, though? You know,
yeah, they fell under his.
How did they? Sorry, I'm not.
No, yeah.
I'm trying to understand. Like, you go into this scenario where everyone's pregnant by him, and there's no kids because obviously the kids are being taken away. There's already been death. Mm-hmm. He wants to fuck your wife.
Yeah.
So then you let him put.
I'm
why
assuming
not
he was
leave
held
in the
down.
middle of the night?
Yeah.
Like what? But you could still take the rubber bands off.
He's got them so far out in the middle of nowhere. They either don't think they have anywhere to go. They've been there for years at this point.
Yeah,
they're
but they
starved.
had to get there. How did they get there?
He had them under there. He was so charismatic. Like, there's a lot of stuff I left out when he was
annoyed.
in the Seventh-day Adventist that, like, he kind of branched off on his own and figured out he could, like, get people under his spell, and then they were underfed, they were tired, they were scared.
Yeah.
So, like, and he had convinced,
He
convinced them that it was God's will for them to go through suffering.
Stupid.
I think it's.
I think all this is stupid.
Yeah.
Your story's stupid.
And then,
I hate your story.
So my next line is, so I'm not victim blaming, but I cannot wrap my head around this.
I can't either.
Yeah.
I never can with cults, though. I never can.
Yeah. So for some reason, though, when he's like, hey, does anyone need any medical assistance? 32-year-old sister wife, or whatever she was, Solange Bolliard, yeah, that's it, was like, my stomach's actually been hurting. Like,
why did she say that?
I don't.
He's been drunk. They've
been
an asshole.
Him do these, too. Like, his
You've seen
surgeries.
him kill people. You're dumb.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's literally like probably just cramping.
He's like, all right, well, come on. He tied her to a wooden table, punched her in the gut, and shoved a plastic tube up her butt. He tried to give her an enema made of olive oil and molasses.
What?
He cut her stomach open with a kitchen knife, cut off a piece of her intestines with his bare hands. Then one woman was there named Gabrielle, and she used to be in the medical field. So he was like, here, he gave her a needle and thread and was like, sew her up. The next day, Solange, her intestine, like the acid was leaking out of her intestines into her abdomen.
It sounds like.
And she passed away.
Of course. I was like, there's no way that you can just cut a piece of your intestines off. There's no reason for it.
All of the, yeah.
Like this is so stupid.
Yeah. He had them bury her out there, and then he was like, wait, dig her back up. God, I don't even want to say this. Roch wanted one of her ribs so he could wear it in a pouch and a necklace around his neck, like a fucking psychopath. He sawed off the top of her skull and then ejaculated onto her brain. I didn't even want to say that out loud. Like, I don't even think I could make eye contact with you after when I said that.
Heather.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
He took out her uterus and then cremated her body. This is so...
So he just did whatever he wanted to do to her body at that point. He was like, you know what? Why the fuck did he whack off into her skull?
I don't know. I don't know why any of this... I don't know.
And like, where's everyone else? Why is his dick just out?
Well, he was very proud of it. So he probably thought it could give her life since I don't know. He's fucking whacked. What? 1 year later, Gabrielle Lavallee, I don't know how to say her last name. It's a lot of French, so we're just going to say that. The same woman who was told to sew up Solange told Roch, I don't know why they're telling him things bother them, that she had a toothache. He pulled out 8 of her teeth. Then she also said, well, I have stiffness in one of my fingers in my right hand.
This is I'm not trying to victim blame, but they're doing this.
I would keep my
some
fucking
crazy
mouth shut.
fucking shit going on here.
Yeah. She's like, my finger is stiff.
He cut it off.
With a meat cleaver, her arm.
What the fuck?
In her right hand. So he cut off her right arm.
She jammed her finger.
Yeah.
And so he cut off her arm.
Yes. And a few days later, not the same day, a few days later, he had the other anthill kids cauterize it. I'm telling you, this is fucking insane. And I don't know how I've never heard of this before. This though finally snapped Gabrielle out of it. And she was like, no, fuck you guys. And she snuck out. She hitchhiked to Toronto and then ran right into the police station. And they were like, and told them everything. And could you imagine hearing this for the first time? Like, I've been living out in the wilderness, my arm's cut off. And they're like, what? Like, she But Roch ran from the police because he's like, oh shit, she's gone. Like he knew exactly. So
the bitch with the no arm.
Yeah.
No arm Nancy.
Yeah. He ran for 6 weeks, and then finally they arrested him on October 6, 1989. He pled guilty on October 10th, and he was sentenced to 12 years in prison. He appealed somehow and got it reduced to 10. And then while he was in prison for 10 years, which it should have been $1 million, another Anthill kid came forward and told them all about Solange. So finally, and October 24th, he was charged with her murder. He pled guilty to this too, and he got life in prison with parole eligibility in the year 2000. So finally fucking threw him away. The trial was wild because then they found out everything that he had done to everyone. There wasn't one person there that wasn't like cut or maimed or injured from him. He just fucked with them all the time. He would burn women with like a welding torch. He would cut their fingers off with wire cutters. He put like these grip things on their nipples, like crazy shit. Because that was the suffering, he said, quote unquote, to get to heaven.
So that you had to be tortured to get to heaven.
Yes, the road to heaven was paved with suffering is what he beat into their heads. Literally would beat into their heads. Yeah.
What the fuck?
This is the worst part.
Is it, Heather?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. This is why it's known for, like, members were forced. He would force them to break their own legs with sledgehammers.
I'm quitting.
Like, do it yourself for Jesus. I can't. And then, this is bad too. He would literally nail children before they were thankfully removed. He would nail them to the trees. Like,
thankfully before they were removed.
Before, like, at least they finally got them out.
Oh my God, but he would nail them to trees?
And it's insane. Now, Francine and the other two sister wives, they were still loyal to the cult beliefs, and they actually ran a bakery a mile from the commune. Since Francine was the only legal wife, she would get conjugal visits to go see Roch in prison, and he fucking knocked her up on one of the conjugal visits, but thankfully the state took the baby. Like, stop doing that. Why is he... Stop it.
And what the fuck?
Yeah, by the way, like, I saw an interview with her, and she's like, that's my man, take my baby, I don't care, pretty much. Like, she was basically like, you can have the baby. Like, what? And she said, quote, most of the time, he was not drinking and performing operations. He was a marvelous man who was full of passion, intelligence, and originality. He loved to laugh and dance. Fuck you. Love to laugh and dance. When he's not chopping up nuts and nailing kids to trees, he was kind of a swell dude.
Fucking little kids, shitting on people.
Right?
Forcing them to torture themselves, cutting off arms.
Yeah.
He loved to fucking dance your ass.
He told a good
into
knock
the fucking
joke,
grave.
And he did the cha-cha slide. But he also, yeah, insane.
Him.
Roch was in a Mexican.
A Mexican.
Yeah. I can't even come back.
I don't even. Tell me about that Mexican. Fucking sentence he got. Motherfucker.
Go give me a sledgehammer. Okay.
Oh, my God.
Now, he was in a maximum security prison and was in protective custody because he got a lot of death threats from other inmates. I'm shocked by that one, right?
Right.
He was trying to get followers in prison. Like, out in the wild, he found people that he could profile and, like, persuade to join his cult. But in prison, he's like, well, I'm locked with these dudes, so let me try to get these dudes to follow me. And they're like, get the fuck away from me with your big beard, you stupid fuck.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that how that went?
Yeah, I think that's a quote. That's right.
From his second jailmate cell guy. So the ones that he got then, so are we saying, like, are we implying that the women were the ones that...
There were her and two other ones, so there was 3 left when he got arrested. The rest of them were like, we're free. But 3 of them were still like...
No, I'm just curious because I was just like, why? So why couldn't... Because sometimes cult people can get people to believe in them in jail.
Yeah.
But his hammer dick didn't do it.
I mean, yeah, they were all dudes, so...
He was like, I don't want that in my butthole, but I'll put it in yours. Spread them. What?
In 2011, Roch Thériault's cellmate, Matthew McDonald, who was serving a life sentence, stabbed him in the neck. Matthew walked over to the correctional officer on duty, like very chill. And he goes, that piece of shit is down on the range. Here's the knife. I've sliced him up, and walked away. He's like, I'm fucking done with him. Normally I wouldn't celebrate that, but he's kind of a piece of shit. So,
right.
Thank you.
Normally wouldn't.
Matthew did everyone a service, in my opinion.
I agree.
Like,
I love that he was like,
he just literally walked up and was like, I've sliced him up. Here's the knife. Like,
I'm already
in here anyway. I can't fucking deal with old hammer pants over there. I know he loves to laugh and dance, but he won't stop laughing and dancing.
God, he's really fucking
so
with my
passionate
vibes,
and
man.
charismatic. And
God.
he also asked to pull my tooth, but other than that.
Oh my gosh.
But I am thankful that Gabrielle finally fuck! I can't talk.
Snipped right out of it. She snipped right out of it.
I have 3 bullet points left. And I'm almost, the end is near. I can feel it. God damn it. All right. I'm still thankful that Gabrielle finally snapped out of it and ran to the cops, because he didn't think he was touchable.
No
he
arms,
kind of
right?
Wasn't.
No arm?
One arm.
One arm.
Yeah. But like, who knows what he would have done? They were watching him, but I don't feel like they were watching him.
They weren't watching him.
They weren't.
They can say there's no way they would have missed him jacking off into someone's skull.
I mean, right? Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. And Gabrielle gets monthly compensation from the government, and she actually wrote a book that, when translated to English, is called The Sheep Alliance, and it's about everything. And
she looks like pretty badass.
Yeah. And that is the fucked up story of Roch Thériault and the Anthill Kids cult from Canada that I have never heard of, and I'm never going to forget.
I, too, have never heard of that, and I'm very grateful that I hadn't. Because, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, media already is what's trying to ruin society with like what they tell you. So maybe it's a good thing that there's just podcasts where we're like, let us tell you this fucked up story that you're far enough away from. But
yeah,
that is just so insane.
This is the wildest one I've heard. I think I've ever heard.
I just agreed. And I think the thing about this one is like, I don't necessarily, I'm not, and maybe, and I'd say this with love, maybe it's a lack of information in a certain area.
Yeah.
But that's probably because there is no information to this. But like all the other cults that we've seen the psychological abuse that came in. Either we saw what was tempting. Yeah. Even Mother of God. Mm-hmm. We saw what was tempting.
Yeah, I left a lot of that out.
So, yeah. but I still when the motto is the road to God is through suffering, there is no tantalizing thing. Unless you're used to. I wonder if like the cult members were used to some form of abuse from their families.
Some of that was true. I know,
like if they tied pain with. Pleasure in the S&M kind of way. I don't know. That's why they wanted big dick.
Right. Giselle actually had a horrible home life. And I think she was abused. And then so when she saw him, it was kind of what she was used to.
Yeah.
And like, then a lot of these people were in the Seventh-day Adventists, so they were used to rules. They thought there was a second coming. So they were already in the realm.
Religious realm.
Yeah, in his orbit. Okay, and then he's so like, actually one of the, I don't know what they're called, preachers or whatever, one of the leaders in the Church of the Seventh-day Adventists put him in charge of a bunch of things because he was so charismatic, and he would go sell books and stuff for them to make money. And then so as he was doing this is how he got all of them under his spell, because they're like, wow, he's really good at that. Wow, he's really smart. Wow, is it because he was smart?
Right.
But he got them when they were very vulnerable. And
as they
sad.
all do. And I get that.
But I hear what you're saying.
But I'm also like, it's kind of, what was that one, the one at the school that you did? The
Sarah Lawrence one.
Yes, the Sarah
Larry,
Lawrence
what's
cult
Larry?
or whatever. Who fucking cares about Larry? But like that one's
wild too.
Is wild, but you got it. You got it to a degree, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't fucking get it. No one's gonna fucking get it. We're never gonna get why a serial killer wanted to fucking kill people and eat their brains. We're never gonna get it.
Yeah.
But we can see logically how we got to this page in the book.
This one,
and
it's 11 years.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like breaking your own legs and then openly saying that you have ailments, knowing that the ailment it's hard to believe.
Like it's
now, if he was in my face and he's like, "What the fuck's been wrong with like?" and you felt like, "Oh, I have a stiff pinky,"
yeah, like
you know, and
my finger hurts. Yeah,
yeah, like, and you say, "Oh, well, what could really happen?" He's pressuring me. I have to say fucking something.
Yeah, you don't think he's gonna take a
he won't
meat
do
cleaver.
anything to my stomach. I just say that my stomach kind of hurts. Like, I wonder if there was that kind of level in it that you felt forced to. I don't know, man.
I want to. I need to see if that book that she wrote is on Audible because I don't hold books and read them.
I'm going to guess that if it's a translated version because I just looked it up and it looks like not.
Oh, really?
100%.
Well, will you buy it and read it to me?
No, I'm like, this is not one. I'm like, maybe I would Audible it, but because there's a translation factor to it, I'm just like, I have a feeling it's not going to be.
Yeah.
But I don't want to read that. I don't even know if there's something about like. I don't know, because I've read so many books about killing and I've listened to so many books about killing. Mm-hmm. And there's something so terrible about hearing it. Yeah. So like, I've read books that I was like, oh my God, this is fucking terrible. Mm-hmm. But then I've also listened to the audiobook or saw a show on it after, and like the hearing it out loud is way worse. It's just like whenever we're doing our research and then we have to vocalize it and we're like, we actually have to communicate this. It's 10 times harder.
The things that I said to you today, I did not want to say.
Yeah.
But
if I'll always remember talking about fucking dead bodies. I get it.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah.
That was in a previous podcast. Not that I fuck dead bodies. But if you're curious, yes, women can fuck dead bodies.
She likes them living.
That's what blew us away. Was like, oh, women can fuck dead bodies. Oof. And everyone's like, rigor mortis? We're like, no.
Oh my God. I need a palate cleanser. I need a palate cleanser for sure.
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
I don't have something very jolly to tell you because that was really fucked up. Now, he died in what, 2011?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Good riddance.
Good. I agree.
See you fucking later.
12 years ago.
Yes.
Man.
Just not that long ago. I feel like it's too soon.
And there weren't drugs involved? Mm-mm. That's crazy.
He drank.
Get me in the woods and give me some LSD, and I guarantee you can probably chop my arm off.
I mean, I kind of wish that they were.
I do too. You know, there's things that you kind of hope for.
What I gathered from my studies is that they're no.
What a fucked up story, man.
Yeah. Well, to hear this and others.
And he was just a violent guy?
Yeah.
That was just his violence.
He loved to control people. He thought he was the creator of everything.
Yeah.
He really believed his own bullshit. He thought he was smarter than doctors. He had like 2 or 3 surgeries. They fucked his stomach up, he thinks. So then he's like, well, I read textbooks.
Well, then he was like shitting on people. I feel like that would hurt him.
Yeah.
See, and I can't even get behind that sexually.
What? No.
So, I'm just saying, if there's a kink for it.
I mean, hey, you do you.
But like,
just don't do on me. No.
I don't.
It's not my jam.
It's not mine either. Yeah. Oh my God, do you remember Two Girls in the Cup?
I knew you were going to say, I swear to God.
I remember my friend, Bruna Palucci, up in fucking Miami.
Okay.
Made me watch that.
She's in the video?
No,
okay.
She was like, have you seen this? And I was like, no, what is it? And we were like drinking sake bombs like at my house. And,
yeah.
Yep.
You remember, it's one of those
and
things.
I remember being like, what?
It's one of those things where you remember who asked you and where you were when you watched it.
It's almost like 9/11.
Oh my God.
You know exactly where you were, what you were wearing, and how you felt the second you realized what was happening.
And you're like, okay, I can't talk about any of this shit anymore. I can't. Oh my God.
I just still wonder where those girls are today.
Oh God. They're probably mad.
Did they take it down?
Yeah.
I remember it was one of the first things that they worked to take down from the internet. Do you know what I mean?
One of those dark web. They're probably pissed off because they could have sold it on OnlyFans now.
I just want to know why they were forced to do it.
I don't
like there's no way that I was like, shit in this cup, let me vomit in your mouth.
Who knows? These people broke their legs with sledgehammer. Who knows? The world is a wacky place.
It's a zany place. So
my stomach is growling so loud. Do you hear
Let's
that?
go eat.
Yeah, let's go. Okay.
You guys, thank you. Like, rate, listen, subscribe.
Yeah.
Tell your sister, your brother, your mom.
Tell your kids, tell your wife. No, let's hide your kids, hide your wife.
I'm not talking to her anymore. This was our last episode. Okay. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Theodore, can I pet that dog?